course, on Sunday we've gone many places and done many things and lost a whole lot. But this afternoon we really have a champ of an interview for you. We have as our special guest this afternoon, Peppy Lipsync. Now, you may not have ever heard of
Lipsync.
Pepper?
Yes.
See, I haven't never heard of him either. Pepper Lipsync is a rather unusual person. You have probably heard his voice more times than you know.
Numerous times.
Numerous times. For Pepper Lipsync in the movies,
numerous times too.
Overdubs voices. How does that work, Pepper?
We use a Sony, and what we do is I dub my voice in. Because most of these movie stars, you would be surprised if you really heard how John Wayne actually sounds.
He doesn't sound. The real John Wayne doesn't sound like John Wayne.
Have you heard the Gary Burbank show when he does Captain Gorgeous?
John Wayne does Captain Gorgeous.
That's
Gary Burbank?
That's actually John Wayne doing Captain Gorgeous. It's not really Gary Burbank.
You do John
because
Wayne's
that's John
voice.
Wayne doing his normal voice. He talks sort of like this. And so naturally...
I can see where in a Western that might not go over too well.
No, it doesn't go... I mean, when a cowboy walks into a bar,
yeah,
John Wayne refuses to order a beer or a whiskey. He always walks into a bar and orders a banana daiquiri. Now, for a cowboy to do this, it's just unheard of. So what we do is overdub what goes on. And you'll notice you never see his face
when he's
ordering what he's ordering in a bar.
I've noticed that.
It's always, he always says that. So we dub in, I'll just go, like when they get ready for that, I just go, beer or whiskey. That usually takes a day to shoot.
Give me an example of when you do John Wayne's voice. What? Just give me an example of John Wayne.
Okay. Let's say that John Wayne is helping out the people with sheep, right?
Sure.
Okay, now the guys with the cattle are trying to run them off the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, John Wayne confronts the cattle monger. Yeah. Well, there's just one guy.
There's got to be more for John Wayne to take. He doesn't.
Yeah, you're right, I guess. Sure. I guess you are right.
The mongers.
Yeah, okay. They come up to John Wayne and they say, okay, we want you and all the shepherds to get out of town.
Right.
John Wayne looks at them and says, I'll beat you savagely with my purse about your head and ears.
But in the overdub...
When I overdubbed it, of course, I said, I'll pull your jaw right out of your face.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Those things go on and...
Well, that's not the only one I do.
What others do you do?
Well, all of them. Do you know there's not a single movie star in Hollywood that does his own voice?
Really? You do them all?
I do every one of them. Anyone you like, I do them.
What's the most ticklish situation that you've been in when you've had to overdub a star's voice?
Well,
the most difficult one?
The most difficult voice I've ever had to overdub would probably have been Debbie Reynolds.
You do Debbie Reynolds' voice?
I do a fantastic Debbie Reynolds.
But you do the singing voice too?
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that. There is no way that you can do the singing voice of Debbie Reynolds.
Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Can we have a little music?
I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love.
That is amazing. I would never have guessed.
Thank you. Well, it's just something that a talent that I've been blessed with from the man above, and it's something I'm very proud of.
Well, how do you work out the money aspect of it?
Well, I get quite a bit of money for this. I have a home in Beverly Hills. I drive a very nice car. I drive 2 Rolls Royces.
At the same time?
At the same time.
That's tough.
Well, it's not that tough. It's just a matter of coordination.
For those that are just joining us, our guest this afternoon is Pepper Lipsync, who is a world-famous Hollywood linguist that we've just found out.
We don't call it a linguist now. We call it...
I can hardly call it that myself.
I practice linguini.
Which is the art of being a linguist.
Yes. I have to admit that.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm really, my mind is boggled.
I know you're going to ask me. I think most times that I'm interviewed, this question does arise. Is it true, Mr. Lipsync, that you, that entire time that in President Nixon's career, that I was the one that actually overdubbed, that his voice was never heard. It was always my voice.
There was a
that
rumor
heard.
to that. I was going to ask you, but I didn't know how to phrase it. But now that you've brought it up, is it true? Did you really do his voice when he was in office?
No.
Come on.
Yes.
Did you?
Well, you got it out of me. Okay, you drug it out of me. Yes. You twisted my arm. Yes, I did. In fact,
Do it now. Do it now for me.
well,
I don't think you really.
you really don't believe that I did Nixon the entire time he was in office.
I find it difficult to fathom. that
Even
thought.
those speeches he did, you know that he always bought in a little cassette player. And
Underneath the podium.
he would lip sync all the speeches to my voice.
Amazing. Give me an example.
To lower our voices would be a simple thing. We cannot learn from one another until we stop shouting at one another, until we speak quietly enough so that our words can be heard.
That is amazing. Pepper Lipsync right in our studios this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It just boggles my mind that the money that you must make. I mean, you've done you do all the Hollywood voices.
Well,
John Wayne,
Let me.
Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, I do them all. I mean,
Excellent.
you name any one of them, and I do them. Raquel Welch, Burt Reynolds.
What about
Daffy
Walter
Duck.
Cronkite? You don't do Walter Cronkite.
Well, I hate to. I
You
hate to tell you
do.
this, but I'm Walter Cronkite.
Walter
too.
Cronkite's
Yes, I
voice? Give me an example.
What was the remarkable string of events which had brought our nation to the eve of this great adventure?
Unbelievable.
It's just a talent I have. You see,
Well, how do you decide what type of voice that you will do for whichever or whatever character?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you take the person and you look at them. Now, the voice is mostly dependent upon the size of that person's nose.
Oh,
Now,
really?
that may sound very silly to you.
The nose is the criteria for the
Right,
voice.
Now yourself,
Yeah.
on TV, by looking at you, I would never do your voice the way you're doing your voice.
How would you do my voice?
Let me show you.
Well, actually, you're too big for this room.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
I kind of like the way I do.
Well, I
my
know
voice.
most of the actors feel the same way. But after I think you've viewed that in the movies and the way you would sound and appear with your voice being this way, I think you would come around to my way of thinking.
Could I hear that voice again?
Just climb back up the hole where you fell in.
You know, that's not a bad voice.
Not for a person that looks like you, no.
It-
It would be a bad voice, say, for Debbie Reynolds.
Sure. Sure, I could see where that would be.
So it wouldn't work out at all for Debbie Reynolds. Her voice would have to be a little more nasal.
Yeah. What did you ever have a situation where a star just refused a voice that you gave them?
Yes, Lassie did this. I was...
Lassie?
Don't laugh. Lassie's a very temperamental star. Don't laugh. Now, this is. I'm telling you the honest truth. It's very difficult to work with a person, the ego of Lassie, because it seemed that every time I would walk in and just do a simple Lassie bark, she didn't like what I was doing. She said it was either too high, too low. I made her sound too old, too young, and this sort of thing. I dreaded seeing that Lassie trailer pull up. I dreaded it. Every time I'd be on the set, here comes Lassie, and I would, oh my goodness. Of course, I charged time and a half
Sure, I could.
for a star that is difficult like Lassie.
And you thought your career was going to the dogs.
Don't be cute. This is a very serious interview as I see it.
Would you do my voice one more time?
You like to hear your voice. You get off on
I'm
that.
trying to
This is the way your
decide
voice
whether I
would
really
sound.
want that voice or not.
Okay.
What? That's not my voice.
No, that was the other voice,
Oh.
Lassie's. I'm not confused. I'm not confused, to say the least.
My voice, remember?
Your voice. Oh, yeah.
You're forgetting the cinnamon cake with vitamin S and vitamin T in it.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It grows on you.
Sure it does.
Just like the nose.
Just like the
it
nose
goes
grows on
together.
you.
I can
And
understand.
yours has really grown, so.
I must admit, Mr. Pepper Lipsync.
Lipsync. That's close.
I must admit, Pepper
Lip sync.
I must admit that
Well,
this
it
is the
would be.
most unusual interview that I've ever conducted. And
Would you really think so?
I really do.
Well,
I
thank
never
you. I take
realized.
that as a compliment because I don't like being the usual sort of person.
It
I like
certainly
to
is
be
a compliment.
The unusual sort of person.
Well, but I
Usually.
I usually try to conclude my interviews with
I have to go anyway.
a scoop or a special piece of information. And I'm just curious now.
I don't know what I
You
could
have been
do.
talking to me in a lot of different voices, the stars that you do,
Yeah.
and you've told me that even your interview voice that you're using now is not really your voice.
No, this is not my voice. Normally, I have a different voice. This is my interview voice. Now, if I go, say
Has
on...
anyone ever heard your real voice?
No. No one,
On
in
this
fact,
program, at
no
this
one
time.
in my life has ever heard mine. My mother doesn't know what I really sound like.
On this program at this time, I would like to present to the world the real voice of Pepper Lipsync.
Oh, I don't know.
Come
Really.
on.
I don't know.
Come on, Pepper.
I don't know if I could...
Ladies and gentlemen, the real voice of Pepper Lipsync.
People in Osage must be warned. At the same time, we must get word to Colonel Ames at the fort. We'll split up, Tonto. Take this silver bullet to the fort. Colonel Ames will recognize it and know that I sent you. Tell him this is his chance to capture Crazy Wolf. I'll ride through Eagle Pass and warn the people in Osage to be ready for an attack. Easy, steady, big fella. Be ready. Come on, Silver. Come on.